Namaskar, I am Professor MP Punia, Vice Chairman AICT. The important point which I will be discussing related to national education policy, and that is related to technical education. It is multiple entry and exit options. For every student, they can enter any time in technical education, they can exit, and for that purpose certain level of credit, certain level of learning outcomes are decided. So, at every stage of exit, students will be getting some options with certain level of credits which they have earned, and the learning outcomes which are most essential for serving the society. When we are saying an engineering graduate or graduate which is coming out from technical education, first and foremost attribute of that graduate is he should be technically sound. Second one, he should be professionally competent, and third one, his knowledge should be relevant to society for the betterment of the society. Huge technical education system we are having in the country. After China is producing around 1.2 million engineering graduates every year, and from our system, the system which AICT is regulating, from that system around 1 million engineering graduates, they are passing out their 4-year program and they are ready to serve the society. So, huge technical education system, but there were certain level of restrictions also. Once the students were entering into engineering education, it was for 4 years program. Some of the students, they may not be having much interest into that, or the options which were available, either he was failing or successfully is going out. In between there was no option, but certain level of restrictions, family restrictions, the financial problems, or clarity into the fundamentals of those areas, certain level of connect to industries was also required. It was being said that our doctors are more competent as compared to our engineering graduates, and one of the reason for that was that our medical colleges are connected to hospitals. In the morning time, students are studying their academic concepts, and evening they are going into the hospitals for treating the patients. So, whatever knowledge they are getting, same knowledge they are applying with the latest diseases which patients are having, but that sort of connect in our technical education system, it was not there, and due to that one, industries were many a times they were saying that the graduates which are being groomed into technical institutions, they are not according to their requirements. First and important suggestion they were giving about the fundamentals of the students. Fundamentals will be cleared first if they are studying into their own languages, which is our Indian languages, and every state, more or less every state is having different language in our country. So, the fundamentals were not so clear to them, because the language of education was only one universal language, that is English, but because students were coming from varieties of the areas, from varieties of the backgrounds, their family status, their location of their schools where they were studying. So, that constraint was there, and national education policy is saying that the education it has to be imparted, or at least option it has to be given to the students, so that they can learn into their mother tongue. So, in national education policy, important part is mother tongue, and second one, the industries are saying that concepts are not clear. So, industries need also it is getting fulfilled if education is imparted into the regional languages or the Indian languages. And second one, industries were saying that advancements which are taking place in technical education, they are taking at a very rapid pace. So, the students should be able to cope up with all those requirements which industries are having. So, in national education policy, the stress was being given that the exposure to the students into the industries, it has to be given in the form of some internship, in the form of providing knowledge into the advanced areas, the emerging areas like artificial intelligence, data sciences, cyber security, robotics, 3D printing, AR, VR. In those areas, the knowledge it has to be provided. When we are providing this sort of knowledge, certainly industrial connect is very important. Whatever theoretical knowledge we are giving inside the classes, if that knowledge, application of that knowledge, if it is not clear to the students, the objective of that education, if it is not clear to the students, or outcomes are not clear, then certainly their confidence will be lower. So, this entry and exit option through this national credit framework, which is proposed into national education policy and which it has been implemented by AICT, that freedom now, the gap which was there between industry and our academic institute, that gap is getting fulfilled. Another thing in technical education is, technical education itself is starting from schools and going up to higher education. National education policy is saying that school education, higher education, vocational education, it has to be connected, it should be interconnected. And I am saying not only these three, school, this vocational education, higher education, even industries also it has to be connected. So that scope it has been created through this entry and exit options. School level, when students are at class 8th, then we are giving level through National Credit Framework that they are at level 2. Class 5th is level 1, class 8th is level 2, 10th is level 3, class 12th is level 4. So school levels are defined in National Credit Framework, it is 1, 2, 3, 4. And higher education, it is from 4.5 and it is going up to 8. 8 is PhD, 7 is master's program, 6 is UG program with 4 years. This is if research component, if it is getting added into this one, that is 4 years program, it may be in terms of honors also. And 3 years UG program in technical education, we are saying it is Bachelor of Vocational Education. 2 years technical education program after class 12th, it is undergraduate diploma. 1 year, only even 1 year education after 12th, if you are giving in technical education, and if student is exiting, he will be exiting with some certain level of certificate of success. It is undergraduate certificate. Earlier the mechanism, the rigid mechanism which we are having, students are moving from first year, second year, third year, fourth year. In between, if some obstructions are coming, or if he wants to have some exposure to the industries, or if some financial problems he is facing, if he want to do the job into the industries, that options were not available. Now enormous freedom it has been given, and the suggestions which industries are saying that the practical skills of the students should be stronger, the curriculum which institutes are having, that alignment with the industries or the attitude of the students, all sort of suggestions which were coming from the industry side, it is now that option, that facility students are getting when they are exiting from the institute. So it is not exit. In exit actual words, it is a lifelong learning. One side they were taking some education, now when they are gone out, it means some skills part they will be taking, hands on part it will be enhanced. So into our academic institute, their minds on part is becoming creative, becoming stronger. When they are into the industries, they are becoming problem solvers, and their hands on part is improving. And if both we are combining all together, institute and industries, then the sort of attitude which students will have to have, the interest which they are having, that interest is also getting strengthened. So this mechanism which it has been suggested into National Education Policy and which it has been implemented by AICT, hopefully the acceptance of our graduates will be very high, and not only in our country, across the globe, because the curriculum which we people are proposing, it is according to the requirements of the industries and that global requirements. Global universities, Indian universities in technical education, more or less our curriculum is same, the delivery mechanism is same, the assessment system is same. So certainly the confidence building of the students with exposure into the industries, their core competencies are getting strengthened, even their professional abilities are also becoming stronger, and their connect to society, they are becoming social relevant. So the benefit to the students will be, with this freedom across the globe, they will be able to move, and they should be able to prove that we Indians are something different. Their team building abilities, their communication skills, their transparency, their time management, their ability to solve the problems, in all those areas they are getting the exposure, and they will become more stable, their commitment will be enhanced, because their confidence will be quite high. Many times when we were discussing with the industries, even before start of National Education Policy, many suggestions for industries were giving that your graduates are coming out with one mark sheet only, and in that mark sheet CGPA is written, and or the particular branch it is written. Industries were saying that we are not much interested into the branch or the mark sheet which they are having. We are interested that what exactly they are able to deliver, the learning outcomes of their education, in terms of their innovative skills, in terms of their ability to analyze, in terms of ability to synthesize the problems, solve the problems, in those areas what they are able to do. Industries were saying we are interested into those attributes of the graduates. So again, beautiful vision of the National Education Policy is, it is based on the learning outcomes, the outcomes of the education. It may be school education, it may be higher education. Important part is learning outcomes, and learning outcomes will be enhanced if the students are getting exposure, the internship, the industrial exposure, the exposure into the research organizations, the global exposure. If that sort of mechanism which it has been suggested, if it is implemented in toto, so the quality of the education, that will be certainly very high. If quality will be improving, then the access and equity part in the education, because access of the student to this education will be much more if acceptance of the graduates are higher. If quality is better, then certainly more students will be attracted towards the technical education. Here access will be increased, the gross enrollment ratio will be enhanced, and according to the needs of every student, because equity is that every student is different, and if that sort of environment can be given to the students in which he can progress in a much faster way, that is equity. So that faster way we have provided in terms of autonomy which we are giving, the subjects which they are able to select, or inside the institute the facilities which are being given, or the orientation of the teachers to giving or the enhancing the equity to the students. All the efforts which are being done through AICT or which it has been proposed into national education policy, certainly we are becoming more accountable. Implementation of national education policy is accountability of everyone is enhancing. As a regulator, we are becoming more accountable, because the connect of our students for the betterment of the society, if they are unable to prove, then certainly we have not done the justice. So accountability also it will be there, and that will be a great help to the society. In national education policy, important dimension which I am saying, the learning outcomes, that is in terms of the engineering and science knowledge which they are having, and application of that knowledge for solving the problems, development of the solution, doing innovation, and providing those sort of complex problem solutions which are enhance the Atmanirbharta of the country. They will be becoming the part of improving the GDP of the country, and for that purpose they like to have strong concepts with them, strong ability to use the modern tools of the education. And the national education policy also it is saying that competency of the teachers also it has to be enhanced, their freedom to work into their organizations, ability to solve the problems of the students, they should become facilitator, and the education should become students oriented. So giving that sort of exposure to the teachers, we are imparting continuous training to the teachers related to the assessment or related to emerging areas. Even we are making it is mandatory for the teachers that they should go into the industries, they also should take internship into the industries, and same time teachers orientation towards the industry needs, and same time the attitude of the teachers. If teachers will be having strong inclination towards the society, or if they will be concerned for the betterment of this whole environment, or the aspects of the sustainability, or ability to communicate, or ability to take the ownership, if teachers will be having that sort of attitude or that sort of strength, then certainly the students will be of that nature. And for both, important is that lifelong learning, and that is the dream of the national education policy. Every day is different day, every sort of challenge which it is there in the life, that is different. So our teachers and students both should become lifelong learners, and they should have the ability to solve the problems, and most important dimension is values and ethics, the personality of teachers, their mindset, their dedication, their honesty, their sincerity, and ability to learn, that is foremost, and that is the dream of national education policy. While we are designing this credit framework, I am saying AICT is connected to school education also. From class 8 students can go into skilling. After class 8, when they are at level 2, if they want to go out from the school education system for taking some sort of skills, they can enter into ITI, they can do 1-year course, some sort of skills they will be having. If they want to come back in school education system, they will be equivalent to class 9th, they can move at level 2.5, 9th they will be doing in the school, or if they continue in 2 year that skilling part, they will be having ITI certificate. If 2 years, 1 year they are going into school, at class 10th certificate they will be getting, and it will be at level 3. Again in class 10th there are two options, one they can move vertically in school, second one again they can exit for the purpose of skilling. 1 year skilling certificate of vocation will be giving after 10th if they are doing, 2 year skilling if they are doing, then will be giving either certificate of ITI or if he is willing that certificate of 12th class he like to have, then there may be certain level of bridge course and certificate of 12th class they will be having, means they will be at level 4 that time. Again if they are continuing with skills for one more year, they will be having level 4.5, and that time the additional skills which they are having, with the help of that one they will be having certificate of undergraduate certificate with skills they will be having. So, exit entry options connected with school education, everything is moving smoothly and confidence of the students are continuously increasing. If after class 10th they are going to 11th, 12th, and if they are entering into our technical education system, so 1 year they will be having 4.5 level, one side from diploma side they are coming with undergraduate certificate, they are also having 4.5 level. So, both they are equivalent. If continuously they are moving another 1 year with 12th class students, 1 year experience in engineering education, and another side polytechnic side they are coming, they are now become same, 1 year more they are spending, they will be at level 5, and if they want to exit with certain level of learning outcomes which are getting expected by the industries, that level 5 they will be having diploma certificate, undergraduate diploma. If continuously they are moving into education system, 5.5 3 years course after 12th if they are doing, or after 10th if 2 years course they are doing, they will be having bachelor of vocational, and after that continuously if they are moving for 4th year also they will be having level 6, that is B.Tech program. This sort of credit framework it has been created with exit options. Hope this freedom which we are giving to the students, it will be changing the face of technical education. Still if they want to have higher education more, till after 4 years of education, if 1 year more they are spending, master of vocational education they will be having another 1 year if they are spending at level 7, that is M.Tech program. So, they will be becoming eligible for teaching, they may enter into PhD also into the industries, many freedoms they will be having. Level 8 they will be having PhD degree also. So, the ladder which I am showing here, the options which in technical education through unified credit framework system which is available on right hand side, you can see class 10th standard, moving vertical they will be having school education, it is 11th standard certificate, or if horizontally they are moving out some skills they are taking, and they will be having certificate of vocational education, they can come into again with this mainstream. Again if they want to go out or want to move vertically, both the options at every level it will be available. From class 10th to PhD level they can reach up to level 8. So, this ladder is ladder of success, this ladder is a ladder of freedom of every student, and in time to come the expectation of the industries, the environment which are creating into the academic institute as per the suggestions of national education policy, where innovation is becoming very important, the learning outcomes are becoming very important, multidisciplinary approaches are becoming very important, and the entry and exit options which are being given to the students, a healthy environment in education system will be created. If higher education is becoming stronger, the country will become strong. Undoubtedly, if the young population which we are having, a very young population, that is roughly 50% of our population is less than of 25 years of age, they are just like human beings. If these human beings, if we can convert into strong human resource with value based abilities of those students, if their holistic development can be done into our academic institutes with the help of industries, certainly they will be doing miracles for the betterment of the society. Certain level of gaps they may be having, because the conventional system of education which we are having, and now we are deviating from that one, curriculum changes also it has to be done according to that one. Certain level of gaps if it is being observed in learning outcomes, the institutes can decide some bridge courses also. So, that sort of freedom will be available with universities, that you design some level of bridge courses so that the acceptance of graduates can enhance. And important dimension into the students' personality, it has to be that they should be acceptable, they should be employable, and when they are going out, it is not important that how many years they have spent into the education system, important is what they are able to do. So, that duration mechanism which we were saying that degree is for 4 years or diploma is for 3 years, that also may not be important with the flexibility which we are giving with this system. Thank you very much. Hope this national credit framework which it has been devised through school education system, through skill education system, in higher education system, it will be getting aligned with international requirements also. So, acceptance of our graduates at international level, that will also be much more, and certainly the human resource in time to come which will be coming out from our academic institutes, they will be a strong human resource across the globe, and they will be bring happiness over the faces of millions of people across the globe. Best wishes.